Corrine, I just want to start. This is the one question everybody's been asking, but why would you want to get back into politics?
It's a calling. It's service. It's like a minister have a calling. Serving is a calling for me. It's a mission. It's not, it's something that I prayed over. And I just know that I can make a difference. What's going on in Washington is crazy, but I can hit the ground running. And, I've served on committees, let's say transportation. When I first went to Washington, for every dime that we sent to Washington, for every dollar, we got 77 cents back. I personally led the fight to change the formula, that we went from 77 cents to 92 cents. That was $5 billion the first year on transportation. So we passed this, not we, because I wasn't in Congress, the bipartisan bill, and the money is just sitting there that could help economic development in Florida. We have a governor and we have 2 senators that are not involved in making sure that we get our share of our tax dollars that we spend to Washington. We need a fighter, and we need somebody to know what they're doing. And so there are projects that I worked on that I want to complete. For example, I got authorized a train from New Orleans to Orlando, tourist destination to tourist destination, and it would help economic development all along the corridor. However, it would also help in case of a Katrina, where we can move people out of harm's way. So it's just things I want to complete.
I'm being the devil's advocate here, but a lot of people would say, given your age, given what's happened, could you really get this accomplished, your goals on that? Do you think that that would be possible?
It's not a question whether I could get it done. When I took over the ranking member of veterans, we had not built a VA hospital in 15 years. I built 9 all over the country. So, I do my work. I told you I was trained in Tallahassee, but I know how to get things done. And I've worked on committees that's been bipartisan. When I was $1 billion for Orlando, for Sunrail, working myself with Mr. Micah. In Jacksonville, we've got VA hospital, VA cemeteries, working with Andy Crenshaw. I know how to work to get things done.
And I remember we saw that, and we saw a lot of the projects that you did here. But do you think you could still do that? Do you still have that pull that you had? A lot of people, given the conviction, there's a lot of respect that, we're hearing from people that it's just not there as it used to be. Do you think you would still be able to have that push and the trust in people?
Absolutely. And we understand the system, and the system needs to change. Absolutely, it needs to change, and that's one of the things. In addition to transportation and veterans, I am going to work to change the criminal justice system. It needs to be reformed. It clearly needs to. It is a broken system, and people say, "Well, it's not just broken." It was designed. Why is it in the United States you got more people in prison than anywhere else? It makes no sense. So basically, that is one of the things I want to work on.
Did you learn that during your incarceration? Is that where the light bulb went off, about the prison system?
People had to, and you've talked to me about it, they had to have appointments to see me because I was busy all day helping people with their problems. Helping people that just did not understand, had no business being there. And so it was just a calling. It's just like I said, I went in as a Harriet Tubman, I came out as a Paul. Helping people was exactly what I did.
And I'd heard those stories, and I've heard how women came to you and did that.
Listen, this one story that stands out. It was on the 4th of July, and I was sitting there thinking, last year I was in the Bahamas uh, at the ambassador's home, receiving America's, now look where you are. However, a young lady came up to me and she said, Miss Brown, will you look at my papers? I've been in here for 5 years and you know, I'm trying to get a pardon. I said, okay. And I looked at her papers and I told her what she needed to do and she got a pardon.
So you worked with her on that.
Yes,
and she
I
was
did.
able to do
That's
that.
right.
Right.
So it was, so I mean, that's just one of the things that I've done. It's even since someone asked me, what have you been doing since you've been out? I had a former member call me and wanted some help with his VA issue. I say, what? Who is your congressperson? So yesterday, when I was, after I qualified, I was sitting in the restaurant. And so this man came up to me, who I did not know. And he said, you know, I'm glad you qualified. He said, I heard that you are the best person in the entire state with constituent service. I mean, so people know I believe in personalized service, helping people. I mean, when you look at the workshops that I've done, if you look at people when they was losing their homes, how I brought in the different banks to help them. I mean, the work I've done speaks for itself. I can hit the ground running. I mean, I don't need to train. I've already been trained.
And, you know, and you know that you've been trained. Why do the Orlando area, when you're so well known in Jacksonville, you have the, you know, the redistricting that happened up here, that things, it looks like we could end up not with a minority person
You're
Congress.
not even going to end up with a Democratic person. You have been gerrymandered. We have had a Democratic seat in Duval County for 74 years. And when you look at how Duval has been gerrymandered, now you can't even get a moderate Republican. You're going to get a right-wing nut. I hate to tell you.
Well, that's what, so
And that's
why not
what
run?
why
not try to run
I'm
it?
not in no suicidal mission. I am interested in going back to Congress to make a difference, and it starts with making sure that you use the principles of redistricting. The principles, that should be a law.
And do you think in the Orlando, in District 10, I think there are 9 candidates there
Yeah,
now, is that
no,
going to be
yeah.
a problem?
You know, it is not a problem for me. For me, I'm going to Orlando to do what I have done for the last 24 years. Period. I mean, you look at Eatonville, I love Orlando. I love the people there. And we work together. And we are a team effort. In fact, I loved all of my district. I love Gainesville. So, and I love Jacksonville. So I just want to get back to work for the people of Florida. And so they will decide whether or not they want me to represent them. So if they're interested, what is it? VoteCorrine.com and go and take a look at it. Let me tell you something. People have been calling me from Gainesville, from Jacksonville, want to know how they can help. So I want them to know that you may not can vote for me, but you can help me.
So you're looking for help from everybody in this
Yes,
area.
absolutely.
People that know you.
Because
the people
I
that
will
know
be working to help them.
Right.
And that's what I do.
Right. Sure. On this too, with everything that has happened, and you know the comments that have come out, people are upset that you are running. They just don't understand how somebody with a felony conviction should serve in Congress. What do you tell them? Like, why do you think you should be
But why is it that you think it's supposed to be special rules for me? The law is clear. You make it up as you go. So, you know, you make it up for certain people. The law says I can run for the United States Congress, period.
Do you think you should, though?
Oh, no, I think it's a mission. I need to go to help my people, the people that I love that's coming up short.
So that's what you would say to the critics, because there have been a lot of
It,
critics.
it may be, but they're not my supporters in the first place. The people that support me, the people who've asked me to run, those are my supporters. So I didn't just decide to run. I got calls, people saying, we don't have a voice. We need somebody to represent us.
Would you move to the Orlando district? Would you move to that district if you win?
I've been living in that district in Jacksonville and Washington for the last 24 years, so that is not a question.
So, but I mean, would you move to the boundaries? I know at one time when your district went down there from Jacksonville, but it doesn't. District 10 doesn't come up to where you live in town here. So would you move?
Listen, I love Orlando. It's nothing not to love about Orlando.
But so
Keep it in mind, when I first was elected to the House of Representatives in the 80s, I worked to get Disney to Florida, the expansion of Disney, Epcot. I carried the first group there to the opening from the University of Florida, a busload of students. Let me tell you, I have always been involved with my community and thinking it's important to give back and working with the community.
So you would stay in this area, but still be able to represent them? Because that's a question. That's the people in Orlando need to know.
I would absolutely have a house in Orlando. Orlando is wonderful. I'm telling you now. I've been down there 3 times recently. I love it. And it's just a nice, it's a different atmosphere there. It's more of a team. And I like teams.
No argument there, but I'm just saying I know the voters in Orlando and the people that will be hearing will wonder so you will have a residence there.
Oh, absolutely. And I've been down there. I've had residents in the Orlando, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Washington area, and I don't think no one has ever said that my presence wasn't there. It will be. Physically and of course mentally, because I don't know what you don't know about it, but I love Orlando. It's nothing not to love.
It's a beautiful area. I mean,
It's
I know
a beautiful
that,
area.
and I know you love Jacksonville too. You've been here.
I'm born and raised.
Right, and that's why. And you had mentioned why you're not running here because of the gerrymandered district. But do you feel if you do that, is that a loss for Jacksonville, or how would you help Jacksonville if you do this?
I will do what I've always done for Jacksonville, making sure that, my motto is, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And I will make sure that the areas of Florida that I love and care about is at the table.
Right. And I'm just going to end this, and I know you've done this because you've read the comments, you've heard the comments from people that they say, she's a convicted felon. And I'm just going from what comments are saying, and some are saying, the tax charges on that.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, go
ahead. But it's not no tax charges. It was one tax count, and I have not spoke with one person that have not had a problem with IRS. Not one. Everybody I talked to have had. It was one. I agreed to it because I didn't want to go back through another trial and all of that. So it's not like tax and fraud. It was one tax count that I agreed to put them behind me and move forward. And that's what I'm doing.
And that's what I mean, so the comments from people that we are hearing, you would say to them?
I wouldn't say anything to them. Those are not my supporters. I'm talking to my supporters. I'm talking to the people that want me to represent them. I'm talking to the people who called me. I'm talking to the people that want something to happen for them in Washington. That's not happening now. It is no question. You sit here and talk to me. Tell me about the last time you got $100 million for anything in Jacksonville since I've been gone. Tell me how the last time. I got a call from a Republican in Orlando. He said, since you've been gone, we don't get nothing. No, I understand who I am and what I can do. And I am ready to hit the ground running, period.
Very good. I'm just going to wrap this up, and I'm just going to let you, is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to get across? I know, the votecorrine.com was important.
Yes, and is that right? Say it again.
Votecorrine.com is your
That's
website.
right. And so I want people to go, and people are asking, well, I can't vote for you. How can I help? Go and look at the website.
How's your health? You doing good? I mean, there was a concern when you were when you were incarcerated and you got out. People are asking, well, is she healthy now? That's a question they want to know. So you're doing okay.
I'm doing okay. Of course, I go to the doctors and the nurses and the physical therapists. Yeah, as you say, I'm more matured now, and I probably need to lose a little weight like everybody. But God has been good to me. He has delivered me, and He's been with me every step of the way.
Very good.
Every step of the way, God delivered me, and He put me on this mission. It's not my mission. I prayed about it, but it's His mission. He wants me to make a difference. And I've always have, and I will continue to make a difference. And the people will decide who they want to represent them in the United States Congress from the 10th District. But as always, I will represent all of Florida. I've always